Test, test. Hey, it's Marta Thier here. We're going to be checking out Surviving the Aftermath. Okay, this is a game that I was pretty excited about because it's from the same studio that developed Surviving Mars, which I thought was an absolutely fantastic kind of a survival city builder. Sorry, one update here, real quick. Absolutely fantastic kind of survival city builder that was going on. Really, really enjoyed it. So when I heard that they were coming out with another game and it was going to be set at like in a post-apocalyptic setting, I thought, wow, well that's just really fantastic. Um, so yeah, I don't know. I was excited to see it and to hear it and play it, and it's in early access state right now. So confession, this is not truly a first impression, like the stream says, it's a second impression because I've kind of played a little bit of this before, but only once. When it first came out, I played a couple hours to kind of get a feel for it. I will say my initial impression is kind of mixed. It's definitely not on the same level that Surviving Mars is, but at the same time, it did just enter early access. This is not a full release, so there's plenty of time where it could improve from its current situation. So I don't know. With that said, let's go ahead. I have all the graphic settings kind of more or less maxed out. There's not actually a whole lot of graphic settings or detail right now. Audio's turned down a little bit, maybe too much. The stream's not showing a whole lot of audio coming through. I'll turn that up just a tiny bit. Don't want it to be too loud. I'd like y'all to get at least a little bit of the flavor of the audio. Other than that, I've just kind of left everything standard. So we're going to go ahead and start a new game. We'll leave our tutorial messages on. So, sort of like Surviving Mars, where you have your companies, here we have a wide variety of options to set the difficulty in the beginning. I'm going to set it relatively easy because I game to relax, for one. Excuse me. And this is just we're testing it out. And like I said, I feel like the game is not, it's in a kind of rough state. I'm hoping that it's going to get a lot better because Surviving Mars is a fantastic game. It's not perfect, but it's certainly one of my favorite city builders out there. I don't know how much survival city building is a genre, but it's certainly at the top of that list. So, um, oh, sorry, got to move a tissue box. Got to let my cat have a place to lay down. Priorities. Okay, so anyway, here's our options. Environment. It affects fertility of the soil. Cities are demolished, but nature prevailed. I'm going to go with that. There's two other options, including barren wasteland with 10% fertility. What a nightmare that would be. That mainly affects your placement of farms. So I'm going to leave it up here. Catastrophes. The worst is past, time to rebuild. I'm going to pick that one again, just because I don't feel like stressing myself out in the stream. This is more just a try the game out a second time, give everyone a chance to see it. The catastrophes, some of them seem almost copy pasted from Surviving Mars. There's like a meteor shower event that can damage buildings, and I don't blame them for that. Reusing assets because that would be a catastrophe. There's some radiation storms, which are not unlike the dust storms in Surviving Mars. And honestly, I didn't get to see too many other options when it came to catastrophes, so I don't know. We'll see what else comes over time. Resources. The group has prepared well in advance. Yes, I'm picking that. You can shame me all you want. I'm a casual, filthy casual. Ideology. There's no survival guide for post-apocalyptic one. Okay. So what did I pick my first time around? So additional tech options for more efficient survivals, hardy survivalists. Colony efficiencies, colony builder. There's 3 tech trees that are researched over time. And this appears, I don't remember which one I picked. Exploration is kind of important, but it's It's a mini game that they really need to work on, honestly. I don't know how other. It's tedious. It's not yet quite fun. I think it'll get there, but you'll see what I mean once we start playing a little bit. So, I think we're gonna try survivalist. I can't remember if I did a survivalist or colony builder the first time. We're gonna try survivalist. Gatekeeper. Life is unfair, but sometimes it feels like you're not alone. Excuse me. Whether it's an invisible guardian or just pure fate, it feels like someone's watching over us. Survivalist. Hi, kitty. You may hear him in the background. Tough road to walk, but never unfair, chaotic, no restrictions. And again, I'm going to continue to go with the easier options. You have starting specialist 3. Now the specialists, their main job, at least as of right now, they can do things on your map like explore, but their main job right now is to actually explore the overworld outside of your city, and that'll make more sense once we pick later, once I show you later. So I'm going to pick a scientist who's going to stay in our, see they have different stats. Speed, that's the overworld exploration, and that's where that matters. They have attack damage, which mainly matters on, well, it actually mainly matters on the overworld, to be honest. It can matter on your city. They have research, that affects both things, both map levels. Scavenge, same thing. I guess it really does affect both levels, but I feel like the main reason for your specialists existing right now is to work on the world exploration, the overworld. So we're gonna start with the scientist, because more science equals more text equals better survival chance. We're gonna go with a scavenger, I think. Scouts haven't felt super useful to me, to be completely honest. That extra action point is not worth the trade-off of everything else. So, yeah, we're going to go with the scavenger. 50% efficiency, I'll take that. And we want at least one fighter, because there will be random baddies that we want to clear out. And it looks like they all have 25 attack damage, worst. Let's go with our recovery healing speed. Now, as far as I can tell, again, I'm still new to the game, near as I can tell, the recovery only happens when they're in your city. So if they get damage out in the overworld, you have to bring them back, which becomes increasingly difficult as the game goes on. And you explore further away from your base. We're going to pick blue. I like that color. And we're going to pick this. I like that. Beacon of Liberty for our flag. Honestly, doesn't come up much. Summary, calling name, Bitter Springs, Armadillo, wow, Edgeburn. Good luck, have fun. I like that motto. New Caledonia, Leesville, New Caledonia, Rock Bottom, Inwell, Elderfur, Illyria, Baymore, New Caledonia. I need some more interesting. Yeah, what should we do? We're gonna go with second chance. And hopefully fewer people die than my first try. Summary, go ahead and start. So, as it's loading, honestly, if you're familiar with Surviving Mars or really any city builder, you're going to have a decent understanding of the basic mechanics of the game. Okay, we're going to go ahead and set our people out to do some exploration. Fortunately, there's not, you can't shift queue waypoints, which, you know, I'll forgive them for. Now you'll notice these red patches. These are pollution. And pollution is a very big deal, and the further you go in the game, the worse it gets. New home. Finding an habitable piece of land is not easy at the end of the world. What you see before is what's left of us and our planet. It's fallen you to rebuild the society and with the aid of your people and the modest resources you start with. I mean, we give ourselves a slight edge. Welcome to the aftermath, survivor. Start by building a campsite. Scout for a suitable location. You miss by moving your specialist. Now, honestly, your starting area is pretty solid usually. So we're going to go ahead and place our campsite. You know, my only hesitation is look at all the fertile ground. This green is fertile. Brown is obviously desert. You know, place it back a little bit. Okay. Do a little more exploring. Radiation's a problem. Pollution's a problem in the game. Now, eventually, we're going to send these guys to our overworld here and do exploration. But start out, we're going to try to get our colony established. Okay, we need shelters, emergency shelters. Okay, yeah. So it feels a little bit like Banished to some degree, if you've ever played that, in many ways. Yeah. Try to find the ideal. Go ahead and take a dirt. Oh, I can't do a dirt road yet. You got to build some other buildings first. That's okay. Let's see. You're a specialist. Press here to learn more. You read over that. Got it. Dismiss. Research. We need to start a research. One thing I dislike, so you accumulate research mainly through exploring the overworld or having, earn science points on the world map. That may be the only way. But it doesn't prompt you if you have unused research points. At least it didn't last playthrough. And you can't queue research until you have those research points. So once you get research points, you can start researching, but there's nothing to, like, let you know. So, scavenger. Let's go ahead and... Here shortly, as I recall, our first colonists will arrive, settlers will arrive, and we'll begin building our... So there's our starting stockpile. We'll begin building our shelters. Living beings. So that's one filter. There's different filters you have. Yeah, this will show you wildlife, fierce mouse, things that you can hunt, and boars. Those will attack you. And they are attacking. Wow, am I going to lose my fighter right out the bat? I might. Let's pull him back. That's going to suck if I lose one of my specialists before I even get my first settlers here. Let's see. Okay, it looks like they left him alone. So the boars, all those living beings on that filter, you can harvest for food. Okay, scientists, why don't you go ahead and come back? Why don't you... Now you'll notice here... Oh, I got to prepare the colony for the first colonist before I can send anyone to the overworld. You can end up sending them to the world map. That's the main use for the specialists. Okay, so our specialists can also construct. They'll pick up resources and begin a construction. Let's build these 3 shelters. We're going to need a source of food. Do we have any water sources particularly nearby? No. So let's try for a trapper. Now, one thing, this game ends up a little bit micro-intensive, honestly. I don't know any other way to put it. You'll see what I mean here shortly. The berries will be a decent source of food. We'll need a storage for those. A food storage will allow us to harvest those berries. Yeah, this game ends up... And I don't mind the micro in the beginning, but there's not really any technology that allows you to automate any of it as the game goes on. And I wish the text would allow more automation. So you see our specialists are beginning our construction on our, what do we name our town? I should probably remember since I literally just named it. If anyone's wondering, this is just a little debug thing where you can submit feedback. Since it's in I'm going to go ahead and speed it up since it's in an early access state, which I appreciate that they have. Still can't lay dirt roads. I have to invite colonists first. Basic gathering, go away. Okay, let's go ahead and build our trapper. And let's build our food storage. Another stockpile is a very good idea early on. Let's see, we have a couple sources of wood back here, so maybe, yeah, let's build that there. Go ahead and get him working on that. Oh, I should actually click on the event. Good morning. There are survivors nearby waiting for your signal. They're cold, hungry, and need caring for. Can you provide better if you have prepared the settlement? Are you going to let them in now or take a little longer? I made a mistake early on. I let them in too soon, and a lot of them were without homes. I didn't lose any to death when I played my first playthrough, but, you know, having this prepared with some jobs for resource production, that's important. So we're going to go ahead and invite colonists because I do have shelter. That's a big one. They send a flare up. Inhabitants. Prompted by the specialist signal flare, the rest of your group arrives at the prepared campsite. Despite a hardship ahead, it's time to rebuild and turn the hostile place into a home. Okay, we're going to slow things down. Okay, so they will show needs. So, work areas. This is one of the things that early on, I don't mind. We end up having to micro. So I'm going to place this work area over here. And any settlers working here are going to automatically harvest our planks, 2 sources of planks, and our small concrete ruins. That's good. I don't mind that one bit. Same thing here. Once it's constructed, it's going to have a work area. It's automatically, these berry bushes are close enough. I'm going to move it to get these other 2. So there's 4 berry bushes. Once those berry bushes run out, I have to manually move it. It's kind of annoying. Let's see. Trapper. They're automatically going to go out. The work area doesn't have a lot of food in it. Move it out into our forest area a little further away from the camp. It should produce some food and skins, that sort of thing. It's going to build some roads. I do believe that they have faster transit on roads. Haven't really tested it. I'm just taking it on word of the description. Dirt roads cost nothing. Build a water source. That's important too. That's so important. Okay, so I have had issues with that in the first game. If you run out of water, your settlers will start to die so fast. Each well is 10 water, so I need to build a second one pretty soon. And they have this overlap where it reduces efficiency, as you can see. Okay, efficiency is 0%. The further away they are, closer to 100%. Maybe if you don't want them too close to the pollution either. So there's a lot of factors. How close can I get before I lose efficiency? Huh. But this is... So as long as the well is not inside the range, you have 100% good to know. We're going to place that sucker right here then. Another thing you have to think about early on, just like surviving Mars, is stockpiles. You need water storage. That's super important. You do not want to go end up finding yourself in a situation where you run out. Because there are some events that will cause the wells to dry up briefly. And when that happens, if you don't have water storage, your colonists just die. They just die. Real fast they die. Okay, so food. Let's go ahead and speed things up a little bit. The colonists automatically construct. I no longer need to use the settlers for that. See, water shortage. I have to get those wells going. This one's almost constructed. Now it's a small shortage. Move this to high priority. So I have wood coming in from the planks. Okay, insufficient materials. What do I need? I need more. It looks like, is that plastics? I believe that's plastics. So let's go ahead and look at our production. Not Taylor, nope. here we are, recycler, scavenges plastic and fiber from plastic deposits, and here's one right here, which can place it right across the way, so it immediately will start producing once it's finished. We're also going to go ahead and send, oh, I have to build the gate first before I can access the world map. Let's go ahead and the gate. That's pretty important. And I may be building it too early. I didn't have too many problems with this last time, but come on, finish. There's our well. So now we will start building, stockpiling water. Okay, visions of gloom. An older colonist claiming to bear grave news is brought to you. They are shaking in clear dismay. I saw a bright wave of destruction. It will hit tonight. Okay, this is probably a real disaster coming. So much for easy mode. You try to ask for more guidance, but the colonist has already passed out from stress. It's up to you to decide how to react to this news. If you ignore the warning, it ends up not good for you. So we have no plastic, so radiation fallout's not an option. We have the most concrete, so we're going to prepare for a fire and hope that's correct. Eventually there's a weather station that will help us predict the future weather. Do not have that yet. Have another stockpile being worked on. We have 12 colonists, so if they're not employed, they're carriers. Okay, total population 12 with 6 carriers. You have to have a certain number of carriers to carry resources around. If you lose those carriers, it ends up not good for you. Okay, no more events so far. Our gate is still under construction. Deposit depleted. Small concrete ruin depleted. So this becomes a issue early on, the depletion of those deposits. 3 deposits depleted. So here we go. This is the micro I was talking about. Our stockpile already depleted all the resources. It would continue to be completely worthless until I manually move it. So if I somehow miss it, we just don't have resources. That's just it. So now I have to sit here and think about, I have to find resources, but if I do this, they're going to walk through the pollution every time. I have to have medical attention. So hence the survival aspect comes in. There are ways to clean up pollution, but it takes a while to get there. I think this will give us some concrete with a little bit of pollution. But the pollution cleanup requires power. So we end up having a tug of war. We have a little bit of housing left. Let's go ahead and build. I think it'd be wise to build one more shelter because we'll probably get some more colonists before long. They're lacking in plastics as well, but it's okay. Okay, we really need to go ahead and send these guys to the overworld, so hopefully our gate finishes soon. We have all the resources there. It's just waiting for a builder. Let's go ahead and make that high priority. Okay, I'm going to pause real quick, and I'm going to refresh my coffee, so I'll be right back. Okay, sorry for that brief delay. Let's go ahead and unpause. We've got to get that gate built. Here we go, so we can go ahead and send our specialists out into the field. The gate's also necessary, I believe, to have new settlers arrive beyond your initial settlers. You can have a tax on your gate, so there are upgrades, various upgrades. Send a world map. Let's send him to the world map too. And here you'll see various objects, places that we can explore. Okay. Anyone there happen to know a good joke? I know it sounds weird, but you'd be surprised what a good laugh can do for you. Survivors are seeking shelter. 2 adults, 1 elder. Elders don't work, I believe. And 2 children. Okay. They come with resources, a certain amount of supplies. Tools are an important one. You always run the risk that they may be hostile. But early on, I need the people. I need people to work. So we're going to accept. So there's 2 workers and 2 potential workers. And here we go. Just going to take the speed down a little bit. Let's go ahead and go to the overworld. So we have our scavenger. He has 150 science points a day. And we have our scout with 200. So I'm going to send our scout to go ahead and interact with this science location. And there was nothing hostile, no booby traps or anything like that. So he's going to immediately start harvesting science from, what was this location? A museum, science points. And we're going to have our scout. No, sorry, our scavenger. Sorry, a scout would be the action. We're going to have him go collect some. Let's start with plastic. You get 30 a day. Now, the thing about all these resources is very practical. Once you collect them, you have to send them back to your base. Otherwise, they just carry them around forever. Science doesn't work that way because reasons, but all the other resources you have to send back to your base. So there are some ways to make that a little easier, but the further away you get from your starting base, the more difficult it is to get those resources back. Okay? Demolishing buildings to miss that. We don't need to worry about that right now. Let's get a road out here all the way to our base. We don't have any. Oh, we do have some science points. Survival skills, production speed. Absolutely worth it early on. Okay. Oh, we also have a new specialist. A scout. We're going to send him to the world map too. They came with the group, it seems. Specialist ready for action. Let's go to the world map. Let's get him to gather up food, meats. Now you get pop-ups when your specialists are idle, but you don't get pop-ups when your science is idle. So, I don't know. It's annoying things to me. It's one of those things that hopefully they'll go ahead and address later on. If we look ahead, we're starting to run low on tools. If you run low on tools, the efficiency of all your workers starts to drop. So we'll probably need a tool shop. Let's see. It's going to take sheet metal. But before that, we need a source of sheet metal. So let's go ahead and build a scrapper. Now, are there any resource? There is one. Close enough. So let's go ahead and build that there. We might have to move our trapper out to make sure we're continuing to have a positive food flow. Okay, still missing plastics here, but we can't add any more gathering here. Now, certain buildings do produce pollution. So you have a problem of pollution accumulating at, frankly, a very fast rate, and it's a while technologically, usually, before you can get to, I think it's, let's see, under colony, traps, tier walls, communal. It's hazmat engineering. It's all the way up here before you can start getting rid of pollution, removing that. So it takes a while. Yet you also have to separately research power stations over here. So there's a little bit of push and pull of trying to make sure you survive long enough to get there, but also getting there technologically so that you can survive. It's a little chicken and the egg. You got to be careful. Okay, so he has plastic now. We're going to go ahead and send him back so we can get those plastics in our main base. And then our fighter has gathered up the science. There's no more science at the museum. So we're going to have him go ahead and scout. Let's scout this land. Takes an action point. Now he's out. Okay, and you see here, we have a couple new places to scavenge. And we have a bandit lair. That's what fighters are excel at, is taking out the bandit lairs. Okay, so he's now returned. Now we can turn around and immediately send him back to the world map. It's just a little bit of micro that kind of feels unnecessary. We're going to send him to go gather up some wood from crumbling houses. Survival skills, finished researching. Eventually that would go away, and it wouldn't tell me I have unused science points if I didn't keep my eyes open and wasn't aware of it. Okay, sorry, text from a coworker. We are good. Basic farming, so I need that because food becomes an issue pretty fast. So I'm going to go ahead and now you can only research one technology at a time. Keeping your specialists in your town does have some benefits. I forget what they are, to be completely honest. Let's see. I don't know. It's not clear. So here, as we hover over, if we look, there's our storage, 547 out of 1500 and 673 per cycle. Unfortunately, I really wish there would be some sort of indication of your storage on the main screen without hovering, because as near as I can tell, that's the only way to see how much water you have stored is by hovering. We do probably need to go ahead and get a new well in. +3 is not a lot, so let's get another water well in. 95, 93. Ooh, okay, so we're 95 is good enough for me. One of our berry deposits is depleted. Nuclear beast. An old nuclear power plant looms in the distance as monolithic cooling towers reaching toward the once blue sky. The prominence has made them prime targets for scavengers, but a formidable beast has made her lair in one of the plants. I have not seen this before, and has kept looters at bay. Or it might just be a ruse, a rumor to dissuade unwanted visitors. We're going to go check it out. Now, another small annoying thing that hopefully they'll address. I'm going to click go check. If I click it, nothing happens. It brings this up. This screen, by the way, reminds me of Frostpunk a little bit. Something about the sound and just kind of the periphery and everything. Like, there's no... So what you have to do is click on the overworld, and now you'll see, here's our nuclear beast. But it doesn't... To me, there should be some sort of button here that allows you to click and take you to that nuclear power plant. Okay. So we still have our scavenger scavenging, it looks like. We have plenty of housing, mostly. Probably should build one more housing unit. Yeah, probably. 2 deposits depleted. Insufficient construction materials for water well. What are we lacking? Concrete. Well, soon we should have some concrete back from one of our scavengers. And we do have our stockpile working on a little bit of concrete over here. Let's go ahead and build another stockpile. You give us more storage space, which I did actually have some issues running out of in the last game. Researching basic farming, that's almost done. That'll be important. We'll need to get some farms up pretty fast. Production. A lumber yard is a good idea, honestly. What's blocking it? Oh, looks like some berry bushes. What about under here? Still berry bushes. So placement's going to be an issue early on. 2 constructions finished. Let's move the work area here. Yeah, this is a pretty decent one. Now we're going to have some people start getting sick early on, so we need a medical tent. Yeah, the fact that we placed it in those pollution areas, we need a medical tent. Where can we fit a medical tent in? Here would be okay. I'll just build a small road. We also need to start considering hygiene. Now here's the tricky thing about hygiene. Let's see, how are our... Okay, he's done and he has some food. Our food levels are doing okay, so let's scout. Let's send him to scout this area. Another annoying thing that I really hope they address. See this guy? We sent him here, but he stopped. I have to manually come click him once his action points regenerate. He doesn't do it on his own. It's not a huge deal, but it's super annoying. We're going to send our fighter over here to scavenge. Now notice there's a hazard here, maximum 10 HP a day, so he'll lose HP because of the hazards. It's an issue that we have to be aware of. Yeah, level 2 hazards, 2 out of 3. Okay, I think all their action points are spent. We're working on a medical tent. We also are going to need an outhouse. It causes pollution. It's the first facility we're going to build. So you don't want it to build too close to anything important because pollution is going to accumulate around it. So we are going to build our outhouse basically as close to this existing pollution as we can. Let's go ahead and build our dirt road all the way out there. Medical tent's completed. We still have 6 carriers. Let's speed the game up a little bit. Now at some point, oh see look, our research finished and it didn't notify me. So we have colony, heavier traps, nurses, extra work slot in our medical building, exploration, frontier outposts. I'm gonna go ahead and research that. Yeah, it's so hard. We do need the reinforced gate, but we need the hazmat engineering. Yeah, let's go ahead and get nurses. Removing pollution is going to become a real big issue really fast. Now we have 12 water coming in. Let's see. Let's go ahead and speed things up a little bit. Resources, our concrete's kind of low. All of our collectors are still collecting. Outhouse is completed. Specialist ready for action. So it does give you a notification eventually. Let's go ahead and send him to Nuclear Beast. See what happens. The planet itself isn't hard to find, resting ominously near a dried up riverbed. Aside from its general erosion, it's in fairly good shape. With no signs of other people, the specialists enter the facility. Moments later, a deep growl fills the dimly lit hall and a massive glowing wolf comes into view. The specialist is in grave danger, but the promise of valuable resources is tempting. Okay, because we're a scout, we can distract the beast, or we can grab what we can. Let's distract the beast and see what happens. Thinking on their feet, the scout spots a large hole behind them on the floor, leading at least a few levels down. They start pelting the beast with vases, rocks, and miscellaneous items to goad it to attack. The wolf takes the bait and pounces, but misses the dodging specialist and falls in the hole. It's still very much alive and angrier than ever before, but it'll take some time to get back up. One hasty scavenging session later, the scout is out again with their newly founded loot. Okay, we're going to get 20, is that bolts? 40 bolts and 20, I forget what those are called, components. So 40 parts and 20 components. I will take that. Those are advanced components. Okay, he is out of action points, so he's done for now. But we do have, and now he's holding all of this. Wait, where is the stuff that said he got? Did he just bug and not give me any of those things? Because it's not in my colony. Well, okay then. He's holding on to 21 wood. I'm mildly offended now. You know what? We're going to switch this up. We're going to send our fighter to the base. And we're going to send our scavenger over here. And I'm kind of mildly annoyed that our scout doesn't have the resources he's supposed to have. Huh. Well, is what it is. Let's see. Our water production's okay. Even more would be better just because we want to try to fill that stockpile as fast as we can. So let's get another well. I think this is a good place if it'll fit. Yeah, 100% efficiency? Absolutely. Our food production's getting low, so let's go. We need a small field. Yeah, here's where things start to get tricksy. 99% efficiency. 94, those are both good. We want to keep them fairly close. We don't want to get too close to the pollution. Yeah, we want fields. Each one takes like 1 worker. So we will be using up a lot of our carriers, but frankly, it's worth it. Okay, let's see. 2 construction. So we got to pick what they're going to harvest. Select next. Do corn. We'll do potatoes, and we'll just alternate corn and potatoes. Fields are not particularly efficient. Maybe there's a technology higher up that I didn't quite get to that changes that, but it was kind of rough. Two deposits depleted. Okay, our food storage, yeah, now has no berries. Once we run out of berries, things are going to get a little rough. Let's get these 2. No pollution in the way. Yeah, once we run out of berries, food-wise, things start to take a turn. See, no notification for the fact that these guys are totally done. Look, he still doesn't have the parts and components. Well, that's mega disappointing. At least he can get some tools. Okay, our fighter, you can see he has 25 attack or strength versus 10. So this reminds me a little bit of Civ 5 and Civ 6. You just see the basic stats, 100 health versus 40, 10% miss chance, 10% hit chance. Okay, enemy lost more health than we did. Okay, 1 more attack will probably clear him, and go ahead and we'll scavenge those, whatever he's guarding. Okay, he has tools, so we're going to collect those tools. You're going to go ahead and collect concrete. Very nice. Okay, everything with our specialist is done on the world map. When do we want to send another guard to the gate? Small concrete ruin depleted. We're good. What about him? Still gathering some concrete, but not a lot left. Don't want to send a specialist to the gate just yet. We really need another set of colonists. Oh, here's our first infection. Colonist Archie is infected, and this is why I built that preemptive medical tent, because I knew it was going to happen. Water well is completed. See, our food is starting to drop. That's why I tried to get those farms as soon as I could. How is our trapper doing? We're getting 14 meat a day. Efficiency is only at 55%. Let's see, can we find an area that's closer to like 100 maybe? 54, I found a 75 a second ago, but if it's too far away, where does that 75 go? 70, there we are. If it's too far away, is it really that much more efficient because of all the walking the colonists have to do? Okay, Archie's infected. He's getting treated at the medical tent. Okay, let's see. Let's go ahead and take you. Let's gather the... what is that again? I don't even know. Let's gather whatever that is. He's getting something. You have wood and construction materials. Yeah, let's send him back. Again, okay, so I'm going to click Return to Colony. He's going to path his way back. But here's the deal. He's not going to continue on his own. Once his action points return, I'm going to have to come back and click that again. It's not going to auto do it. So, again, a feature I hope they add in the full release. We're down to 1 carrier. Let's go ahead and get some corn. Small concrete ruin depleted. Okay, so we need to send him. Let's go ahead and get this concrete ruin. 2 deposits depleted. Yep. Let's see, where can I send him to gain some? There's some concrete. What are we doing on scrap wood? We have 80. Meteor shower. That's a nightmare. Okay, let's go get concrete. So we don't want to build too much. We got to keep our concrete and our wood stockpile because the meteor shower is going to hit buildings and damage them. We got to decontaminate. Here's our first pollution. It starts spreading and it contaminates our buildings, making workers sick. So you have to continuously and routinely, yeah, our outhouse is contaminated as well. I know I put it right next to pollution, but it's going to produce pollution anyway. A strange device has been found. Colonist brings you a strange-looking device, which he says was found in an abandoned car nearby. You take a look at it and realize it's a radio transmitter. That could be huge. Some fidgeting reveals it's still transmitting information to its place of origin, which you now have the coordinates for. The question is, dare you venture forth? Hell yeah. You decide to send a party. They find an abandoned research facility hidden deep beneath the woods. The place has been contaminated with radioactivity, and most of the research materials have been sealed in secure containers. The party only manages to gather a few things before they have to leave. As they return, they ask you if the contaminated research materials should be investigated further or left alone. Yeah, investigate. The colonists open the sealed containers and go through the materials as carefully as possible. It seems the facility is researching the irradiated zones. Most of the gathered data looks useful but not very interesting, except for one photo that of an unusually massive deer with sprawling antennas and pitch black skin that's seemingly unaffected by the radiation. The same cannot be said for the colonists. Some of them are already showing signs of sickness. 2 colonists get sickness. Okay, whatever. I got my medical facility up. Also reminds me, look, I was not researching anything again. So let's do communal living. It'll give us access to a better form of home. Shanties and tenements. Okay. 2 colonists are irradiated 1 day before a meteor shower. Malnutrition. We're fine on food, kind of. Specialist ready for action. Okay. Let's return to colony and bring some wood and construction materials, which we'll need. You still have enough health? Yeah, let's go and take out those bandits. He's still gathering, so we're good for now. Okay, now that he's, you know what, before the meteor shower, I think that's a good place to stop this video. We will continue, the stream's going to continue. We will stop this recording and begin another shortly.